evening, ghouls and gamers. Okay, I know it's not Halloween anymore, my apologies. I've always been a fan of spooky vibes. I know I talked about my last October video that it's my favorite time of year. Still is, even though I'm late, my bad. But with spooky vibes come spooky shows. My mom and I would always watch scary movies and stuff like that growing up, and we always kind of made a tradition with each other to be watching like scary TV shows. And with scary TV shows come cringy ghost hunting shows. And I won't lie, I'm kind of a sucker for ghost hunting shows. And don't get me wrong, I've always known that ghost hunting shows are kind of like cringe, and it's not a matter of if I believe they're real or not. It's just more so, does it entertain me? Because that's what entertainment is all about. I'm aware that like 98% of all of those things are fake. It's just, do I get any sort of entertainment out of it? First show I remember stumbling upon on accident was Ghost Hunters, which I think was on Discovery Channel, potentially. There's a question mark in that, and I don't even remember anymore. Obviously, that was a little too intense, a little too scary for little baby me. I was a bit of a, child, you know? A little child should not be watching shows like that. So color me shocked when my favorite channel to watch growing up decided to put their own take on a ghost hunting show called The Othersiders. Welcome back, everyone, to the CN Real retrospective series. I guess I don't really know what to call this. I just want to really go back and watch all these shows again to see if they were really bad or not, like we remember them to be. This is that weird era where Cartoon Network tried and failed to make their own reality television show block. So get yourself some leftover candy from the trick-or-treaters. Get a nice, cozy, warm blanket like I got right here. This is my Spider-Man 1 blanket. I don't know if you can tell. I got this when the first Tobey Maguire movie came out. Damn, I'm old, huh? Yeah, wrap yourself up in that blanket, get a little cozy, because it's about to get spooky in here. Or is it? I actually don't remember if this show was good or not. So, The Othersiders. This show follows a team of 5 teens as they explore supposedly haunted locations on a hunt for proof of the paranormal. The twist for this show, however, is that the team comes up with a verdict about if a place they visited is haunted or not, and sometimes they make disagreements about a spot. So it's at least fun that they don't completely agree on the location being like legit or not, and I say legit with air quotations here. Oh yeah, also, this show only lasted 2 seasons. It got a total of 23 episodes. According to IMDb, which is totally the most trustworthy place to find people's reviews and consensus about shows, obviously, it sits at a 3.3 out of 10 stars. I kid you not, there's only 1 episode in this entire show's run that actually even has a rating on there. But that technically also means that 1 episode is the highest rated episode in the entire series, so big brains here. Does this show really deserve its low rating? Is this really the stinky, terrible, horrible show that we all remember it being? Well, that's what we're here to find out today. Also, I want to preface this. Before we even get into showing more footage of the show, I want it to be known, this show is kind of like lost media. Yeah, alright, it's a buzzword, I'm sorry. But like, there really isn't an official way to even watch this show anymore. It's not streaming anywhere. I don't think Cartoon Network ever printed like DVDs or Blu-rays. I don't even know why I said Blu-ray. Of course I'm not going to put Blu-rays of this. Come on. What am I doing here? So yeah, there's only low-quality rips of this show on YouTube and like other random websites. I think I picked up one of the episodes that we watched later on Dailymotion. Not the highest quality rips, only on YouTube, probably like 240p at most, but it's the best that we're getting, and the fact that someone has archived all of this and put it available for us on YouTube is a really cool thing. I really hope I don't get these videos taken down. Each episode of the show begins with the gang in their HQ, which is just a really nice suburban home in probably like Beverly Hills, because like, look at this, Jesus Christ. This is also where we begin to meet the main team of teens who make up the show. Riley's the leader of the team, the equivalent of like a Zach Bagans or Fred from Scooby-Doo, the head honcho, essentially. Casey is their case manager who scopes out the locations online. And we have Jackie, who is the head researcher of the group, who makes sure that there's enough plausible evidence of ghosts at a spot so they have a reason to go there. Then there's Sam, the website manager, who'd probably like run a TikTok or something nowadays. And finally, we have Zach, who is their tech guy in charge of all their equipment. And he's also, wait, what? He's only 13 years old? Is there like any laws that protect kids from not being on ghost hunting shows at the ripe age of 13? This kid looks so tiny. The first episode finds these guys checking out the Lincoln Heights jail in Los Angeles, California. They also, funnily enough, have like a shot of Riley driving the gang around. Again, very Ghost Hunters-esque, if I'm being honest, but that's foreshadowing for later. We will find out why it's filmed like this. Right off the bat of this episode, I do want to mention this show does one of my least favorite things, a reality show or any show in general. Ghost hunting shows do this way too often. They do the confessional type of storytelling where they're like talking in a room, like a confessional, like in a Survivor or like a Bachelor, where they're replaying their memory of an event to us after the event has already happened.
On my way back to base, I saw the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's a chair in the hallway.
It's just a chair. That is just a chair. So at the end of each episode, they go back to HQ and they kind of do a review roundup of all of the evidence they seem to have collected throughout the investigation. Zach tends to be like a realistic dude about the evidence they catch, which I think makes him a lot more funnier. So shout out to Zach.
It looks too fast. To be an actual person, it looks like.
Definitely not.
Never mind. He just said that this moves too fast to be a person. This is just a crewmate. Like that is just one of the crewmates on the show. These kids obviously have a crew with them. They are not filming themselves across the room in the third person with a shaky cam. They have real other adults with them, no doubt about it. I don't think they can do this show legally without an adult present. Unless the ghosts are filming them, which that's a pretty cool talent if you ask me. I don't know, man. They hardly really caught any like substantial evidence of anything this episode, if I'm being honest. But they say the jail is haunted, so I guess I can't fight them on that. Well, sorry guys, I kind of feel like the first episode of The Othersiders was a bit of a waste. I don't think it was that good. So unfortunately, it looks like I gotta give this show a doom instead of a boom. Well, that was it for The Othersiders. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, leave a like, comment if you want to see more, and subscribe. Later. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to just give this show one episode. I think a show like this warrants maybe watching more. I don't think the show is like Destroy, Build, Destroy, where it's a very formulaic episode structure. I think it's fair if I give this show maybe 3 episodes. So obviously, we're going to have to watch the highest rated episode in the entire series. Episode 7, obviously, the one on IMDb. This episode finds us at a youth detention facility in Whittier, California. The episode begins like any normal episode in the house, and they reintroduce the team once again, and they all seem to be wearing the same exact clothes and the same hairstyles. So I'm going to assume that they film all of this on the same day.
We don't choose a place just because it's scary. We're doing a legitimate investigation because we're trying to collect cold, hard facts to decide if a place is haunted or not. It takes a lot of guts to go out and investigate reportedly haunted places in the pitch black dark and look for the unknown. It's actually really scary.
I'm really sorry if it sounds like I'm constantly dunking on Casey here, but come on, you're hunting ghosts. Of course it's going to be scary. Of course you're going to feel anxious, and it's a brave job to do. If I was their age, I would not be doing what they're doing. But I'd probably do it now. Let me know in the comments if you would go ghost hunting. That's a good one, right? Let me know in the comments. Leave a comment down below if you would be brave enough to go ghost hunting. And leave a like if you like ghost hunting. I haven't fished for engagement in this episode yet. Now we join Sam and Riley as they enter the chapel. The funny thing that they immediately do when they enter the door is they get a radio call from Zach, and they just start whispering over it as if they're hiding from a real person.
This is freaky.
And immediately after they're done talking on the walkie-talkie, they just go back to their regular indoor voices like they've been doing the rest of the episode.
Like he said, we were like right at it, but we didn't even see anything.
And then right after that, instead of investigating further into the chapel, they just fucking leave. they just book it. This show is hilarious sometimes. This episode also gives Riley a moment to head out and investigate alone. There's clearly another crew member with him because he's filmed in the third person with a shaky hand cam, so he's not alone, but you know. But what's funny is that the second the vibe seems off, he just ends his solo investigation.
Can't find any explanation for what touched me. I'm freaking out. I'm gonna head back to base.
Anyway, we're at the end of this episode, and it's time for the evidence roundup. Zach points out a moment where there was a flash of light, and they all debunk it as being one of them. What I find funny is that the highest definition quality that you can find this episode makes this look like a pixelated mess when they do their zoom in. They also look over more footage from the chapel, and they go off about how this figure looks like a dead woman. You're hunting ghosts. Of course it's gonna look like a dead woman. I don't know. What do you mean it looks like a dead woman? It's a ghost. They all make the unanimous decision that Fred C. Wells Youth Correctional Detention Facility, I think that's right, is in fact haunted. So was this episode worth the 8.6 stars that it got on IMDb? Hell no. What? Is that even a question? Hell no. This is worth like 5 at least. But does this show have a good enough vibe to warrant it being one of the better episodes, I suppose? I don't know. What's the standard of quality for this show? That's kind of the bigger question here. What is the standard of quality the show will give me? Is this like the bare average? Is this the minimum of what they can give me? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not too sure. All right, I think ending this video off on one last episode is the right thing to do, but what better episode to do it on than the series finale itself, where they go to Alcatraz Island right here in my neck of the woods in this part of Northern California. My mom and I really wanted to watch this episode because whenever a show, like not even scary show or anything, just like a show based in the real world, and they go to any area adjacent to where we live, we always do the Leonardo DiCaprio thing. Right off the bat on this episode, you could just see that the budget has jumped in production quality because there's a new intro, higher quality cameras going on. It just seems like they were going hard on season 2. They even have their own branded shirts too. Hey, you know what? This is an open call. If anyone knows how I can get a hold of any of the actual official Othersiders crew merch, let me know. That sounds sick. They also look older in this episode. I wonder if there was like a gap between the filming between season 1 and season 2, because they genuinely look more like teenagers and less like kids. But it's really funny because season 1 and 2 aired in the same year. So there's a clear moment where they just get bigger. like as people, they just get bigger.
I mean, it's reportedly one of the most haunted places in the world.
They actually call it The Rock because it's in the middle of San Francisco Bay.
And in this episode, they're gonna do a road trip from LA to my neck of the woods of California. And let me tell you guys, this is a very fun drive. As the crew arrives in San Francisco, they all board their ferry, the SS Hochtour. Thing that I really appreciate, that really caught me off guard when I was watching this one, is they really amp up the atmosphere. They give a lot more history of Alcatraz, and I'm like, it's kind of cheating. Alcatraz has a lot of history as a location, but I really appreciate that they went into this like detailed recollection of the rich history that Alcatraz has as an island. They even mention like Al Capone. Yeah, you know, obviously Al Capone's a famous inmate of Alcatraz, but I think it's a really cool thing, and I appreciate they went that extra mile for this. And we're also getting more narration of the investigation in real time as they're going about it. It's not just like talking heads recounting their memories. Wait, am I liking this episode so far? I mean, I'm not even like that far, maybe 10 minutes into the episode, but like, am I liking this? Is this, am I enjoying the Othersiders? They're even showing evidence in real time with the thermal camera shot. And one thing I even noticed too is Zach and Riley are kind of doing their own little duo journey together. And it kind of has this like big brother, little brother dynamic. And it's nice to see Zach on the field doing stuff, but these two have a really fun chemistry as like a pair. And it's not too dry or too jokey, and they're willing to push through things together.
The gun gallery camera and then those bangs just occurred.
I think it was one of the cells like closing.
It sounded like cells totally closing. We're gonna go check it out. Over.
Guys, am I liking this episode? I didn't think I'd actually like say that. This is my first time watching this too, by the way. Like, I've seen the other 2 episodes before, for sure, when I was younger and the show was airing. But like, I have not seen the Alcatraz episode. I think I'm actually enjoying this one.
Let's go dark.
You guys ready to go dark?
Bravo 6. Going dark.
One thing I've noticed too, Jackie seems to be taking on a different role in this stretch of the series. Maybe just this episode, but maybe it's like a season 2 thing as well. She's acting more as like a base camp person who gets to watch over everything, kind of what Zach was doing last season. But she also goes on like solo expeditions here. I really like this role for her though. I think that she is someone who kind of has a stronger personality than what she was given last season, and she's given more opportunity to kind of shine. And I think that she needed more spotlight with her capabilities and what she brings to the team. I'm just happy that she kind of gets to be doing more. I felt like she was really underutilized the last 2 episodes. So this is cool. Overall, I think everyone in this episode specifically, maybe it's all of season 2, but they all have a really good dynamic with each other. just in general, this episode really made everyone shine in their own separate ways. It actually kind of like makes me a little sad to think about how the show like just got canceled right after this, because I would have liked to have seen this team work a little bit more together with this dynamic, or even like a different channel to be putting this show on, maybe like Discovery. I mean, Discovery Kids was a thing. That's more for like toddlers, I guess. But like, I don't know. Part of me kind of wishes there was a season 3 on a different network or something. That's just weird to think about, because I really don't remember the show being like kind of this quality. God, what am I saying? Guys, did I like this episode? I'm starting to think I might have liked this episode. That's what it sounds like to me.
Oh my god, there's a banjo playing. Not kidding you, banjo. Totally banjo playing.
Oh my gosh.
As they wrap up their expedition on the rock, they head on that long journey back to LA to review their footage for the last time in the series. Here they're arguing over evidence of this being an orb or not. It just looks like a bug, but they really try to justify it. This one looks a lot like an actual orb, more than the other piece of evidence they got. Guys, I'm talking about if there's credible footage in a ghost hunting show right now on Cartoon Network. I'm either crazy and going crazy, or I feel invested in this episode. I don't know what's scarier, going crazy or enjoying the Othersiders.
I think I know what it says.
What?
It's cold.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit. I'm horny as fuck.
Hate it here.
Sounds nothing like it's cold.
I'm a freak.
It's just a noise.
Whoa, I totally hear a banjo. That is a banjo.
Guys, we caught Al Capone playing the banjo.
They all come to the consensus that Alcatraz Island is in fact haunted, which I think is a pretty easy consensus to go to, since it's had a reputation for being haunted for like the last 60 years, maybe 50, 60 years. So easy conclusion, but it's a conclusion, and it makes sense to come to that conclusion. Sam talks a lot about updating their website with evidence and stuff, so let's check that out. And maybe I entered the domain in wrong or something. What about Othersiders.com? Damn. And that, my friends, is the Othersiders. Now let's think about this kind of realistically here. Did the show ever stand a chance as a legit ghost hunting show alternative to people who don't want to watch Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or any other of the paranormal investigation slop? And did this ever stand a chance on Cartoon Network? No, absolutely not. This was a terrible idea. I don't know what idiot had this idea in mind to put a ghost hunting show on Cartoon Network. Unfortunately, I think the show was a product of coming out at a time where just no one cared about Cartoon Network anymore. I mean, this was on the wrong network to put this on anyways. I don't know why they thought this would work. But again, funnily enough, I really enjoyed my time watching the Alcatraz episode. Maybe I might watch season 2 in its entirety because of how much I like this format. The way this show was in this specific episode was really good. But like I said earlier, had this same exact crew, had the same exact format they got going on in season 2 with the dynamics and everything they got, and preferably on a different network, I could actually see the show being something really worth investing your time and energy into. But just after 2 seasons airing back-to-back on Cartoon Network from June through October in the same exact year, it seemed that the suits at Cartoon Network seemed to have had enough and pulled the plug on the show permanently. But dare I say, what a good finale. There are better shows out there that have worse final episodes than this bad show having a really good last episode, if that makes any sense at all. I really hope that the people involved, the whole team, everyone behind the scenes that made this show possible, don't believe that this show was like a dark patch on their career. Because if it means anything, what is it, like 15 years after this show has aired, this guy right here, rewatching the show for the first time since he was 10, really enjoyed his time, especially with season 2. So I hope that, if somehow this video comes across your guys' phones or computer or whatever you watch YouTube videos on, this video somehow reaches you, I want to let you know I had fun watching season 2 specifically, but all of this, I think you all deserve your flowers as well, just like Andrew WK. You guys put in a lot of good effort. You're a bunch of teenagers on camera doing ghost hunting shows, which unique concept for the time, very Scooby-Doo, Actually, speaking of, what is this cast up to nowadays? It's been a long time. Clearly, they must have had some other big prospects going on, and big prospects these guys do have. I did a little bit of research. So the leader of the team, Riley, he has continued to do other small roles in his acting career. He's appeared in Casey Undercover, that Zendaya show on Disney Channel, and he played as Reed Chase, and he seems to just kind of be living his life with his wife. Casey seems to be thriving after leaving the acting career as a program manager for a company called AeroVironment. Sam appears to also be doing really well for himself and now works for, wait, what? A law firm? What the hell? Good looks, man. Zach is working in the music industry as a professional music producer and songwriter and goes by Z Beats nowadays. And Jackie seems to be doing well for herself and living a nice and quiet, low-key life nowadays, it seems. Now, before I officially close this video out, I do want to also mention that there is a really neat article posted on theacorn.com by one Sophia Fisher with the crew for the show. This article was published a few weeks before the show was even canceled. I think this article was posted in October of 2009. So like literally a few weeks before the show got officially canceled. This seems to be the only interview done for this show to promote it with the whole team. It also seems that the responsible adult for all the teens during this investigation is none other than the show's producer, one Zig Gauthier. Gauthier? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize. But he also helped produce Ghost Hunters, which really explains why the show's format is the way it is, why everything's so beat for beat the same as Ghost Hunters. He admits that the show came to him after watching Scooby-Doo, of all things, with his 12-year-old son, which, yeah, I couldn't totally believe that. A bunch of teens hunting ghosts and paranormal activity. They travel in a van together? Come on. We just need a talking dog. He goes on to say that it's really difficult to find real kids who can balance life as students, extracurricular activities, and make a commitment to a very serious subject like this. They are real role models. I'm really proud of who they are and how much they've grown. The article even goes on to confirm my suspicion about there being like a time gap between seasons 1 and 2. I'll even go on the record to say it's really neat that the article brings in the parents of Jackie and Zach to have some questions answered about the safety of letting their children go and do these haunted investigations. I think that shouldn't really be as much of a big deal as it is, since these guys are minors. Well, at the time they were minors. They are not minors anymore, but at the time they were minors. So it seems responsible to have their parents kind of talk about how they feel about letting their children do something like this. I just thought that that was a really responsible and cool thing to kind of have that insight from their parents. Well, everyone, that was the Othersiders. Overall, I think the show would have done better elsewhere than Cartoon Network. Is the show deserving of its 3.3 out of 10 stars on IMDb? Yes. Yes, it is. However, had they kept it up season 2 afterwards, I think the show would have been something really special to a lot of kids. I just don't think it was on the right channel. If this video somehow reaches the right people that I can contact about actually doing an interview with the Othersiders crew, I would love to actually do that. I think that'd be really fun, especially since they didn't seem to be doing any other reality shows after this one, from what my research has shown. And maybe I didn't research long enough or hard enough. So I do think it would be cool to kind of reach out to them. And if you have any connection to old Othersiders merch, if you've held on to it, please get in contact with me. I'd love to do that. But for sure, if this somehow reaches your eyes and you worked on the show, I would love to get a hold of you and do a special little interview with you and kind of follow up with everything about the show's production quality, what it was like working on the show. There's deep cutting questions. I'd like to do all that stuff. Anyways, everybody, if you like what I do here, you're new to this channel, you want to see more of what I have to say, you want to see more Cartoon Network real stuff like I'm doing right now, subscribe for more, click that bell button if you're so inclined to know when I upload. Like this video if you liked the video, and a dislike if you didn't. If you want to see more of what I do here, you want to suggest more CN Real shows to be doing in the future, or if you actually worked on the show and you want to get in touch with me, leave a comment. Leave a comment in the comments down below for more suggestions or anything like that in the future. Have a lovely rest of your day, everyone. I'll catch you guys again next time. Later.
Don't you want a rematch?